What's up guys, welcome back to Sempre Into TV. It's your boy Rahul bringing you a review of a very emotionally draining match. Disappointing 1 point gained. We lost 2 points thanks to some very questionable and poor refereeing from the referee Abisso. Another good team performance, 3 goals scored. That's the first time we've scored 3 goals since November 2018 in the league. On this channel you never really see like a rant or a whole video moaning about something, but we need to address tonight's refereeing because it just wasn't good enough. I mean, all we need to do is take a look at the picture. That is definitely not a penalty. The ball touches D'Ambrosio's chest. It doesn't touch his arm or his shoulder. And the referee used VAR or VAR. VAR has been created just for this purpose, to check these dubious calls. And the referee took about 5 or 6 minutes just looking at the screen like he was watching a TV show on Netflix. I mean, everyone was looking at the same images that the referee was, and everyone could tell that that was not a penalty. After the match, even Biraghi, the left back, admitted it was not a penalty. The coach, Stefano Pioli, admitted it wasn't a penalty. Apart from the referee, everyone thought it wasn't a penalty. That is yet another case of VAR not being used correctly by the referees. It's not VAR's fault, this is the referee's fault. This is a fault in the implementation of the technology, and it just simply has to improve. Well, that's all I'm going to talk about, that refereeing decision. I don't want to talk about it too much. Let's get into the player ratings as we always do, given out by sempreinter.com and Sunit. Starting off in goal with Samir Handanovic, he was given a 4.5. Now I find that very harsh. I don't see much fault from him in any of the goals really, apart from perhaps Muriel's one. I saw that he took a step to the right even before Muriel made his shot. But I mean, that shot was right in the side netting in the corner. Even if he was in the right position, that would have been very difficult for him to stop. So I find it hard to blame him for any of the goals really. So I find that rating very harsh. I would have given him at least a 5 or a 5.5. D'Ambrosio given a 6. He was the culprit for that very harsh penalty decision. Maybe there was even a foul on him in the lead up to that decision, but overall it was a pretty solid performance from him. Skriniar and De Vrij both got a 5.5. I agree. Unlucky Skriniar with the first goal, but the whole defense was sleeping in that goal. I mean, 16 seconds. Dalbert was caught napping on the long ball, and not up to their usual standards, the duo. At left back, Dalbert, as I mentioned, was caught napping for the first goal, and he was very shaky on the ball a few times. Disappointed with him, didn't build on his previous performance against Sampdoria, expecting more from him. Very poor touches a few times, and then was substituted by Spalletti, who maybe saw that he was struggling against Chiesa. Matthias Vecino scoring against his old club, great goal, very well taken, volley first time, coming in from behind him. And then also had another chance in the second half, and had some good touches and passes and made some good runs. But as always, when he receives the ball with a back to the midfield, it's almost like a 50-50. I mean, you're taking a chance with Vecino when he has his back turn and there's midfielders pressing him, and he almost gave away a goal when Gerson took the ball away from him just in front of the defence. So we were lucky to get away with that. Brozovic struggled to keep up with the high intensity of the match at some point, but as always sprayed the ball around well, but not as well as usual. Politano 6, I maybe would have given him a 6.5 just for that goal. Very well taken, cut in on the left like a peak Iron Robin, Messi, and then bullet into the far left of Lafont. Great goal. Decent performance from him. A few times his left final ball was lacking, but great heart shown in that performance. Still hasn't completed 90 minutes a lot. He seemed to have finished with cramps again. He needs to improve on his fitness, I think. Nainggolan starting again and almost finishing the match. I'm very impressed with his physical condition now. He's clearly past his problems that he had in the first half of the season. I'm happy to have Raja back to full fitness. Even Perisic, another positive showing from him. Should have scored another goal though, took his penalty well, but he had more chances in the match, especially near the end. He could have done a lot better when he cut in twice and then he didn't either pass it or he didn't shoot it, so almost wasted an opportunity to go 4-2 up really. Lautaro was given a 6, I agree, he had a very difficult match today, probably his most difficult match in an Inter shirt. Hardly had any balls to play with, but the few that he had, he worked very well. Substitutes, Candreva seems to be the only option that we have now that Keita Balde is still not back from injury, and didn't really get many touches of the ball and didn't really make an impact on the match. The other substitute was Borja Valero, who was brought on for Nangolan at the end. Brought on some good energy as always, but wasn't able to control the tempo as Fiorentina had the ball mostly. And a special first time that we rate the referee on this show, a big 0 for Abisso, whose name translates to abyss in English, and that was an abysmal performance. Before the match, in my previous video, I did say that I feel like we're still not out of the crisis period yet, unless we beat Fiorentina, and we didn't. So I'm still waiting for a confirmation win. Next match will be against Cagliari, and a good performance and a good win for me then will confirm that we're out of this crisis. And AC Milan are just 2 points behind us now after these 2 points that have been dropped really, and the Champions League race is really hotting up. The people that are chasing us are getting closer. Our form is not the greatest, our injuries are not helping us, and we still have some Europa League matches to look forward to, so match rotation, player rotation is really important for us. AC Milan are really starting to scare me, especially with that gunman up front, Piontek. It's the first time in years that a Milan player really is starting to scare me. I don't really remember the last time I was scared of an AC Milan player. Almost every match now becomes a must win. And of course, after the match, Vanda Nara opened her mouth again, unfortunately, that big mouth of hers, on the Tiki Taka show that she presents on, talking about how the refereeing decision for that penalty was a disgrace, but also leaving Mauro Icardi out from the match was a disgrace, which is really confusing, because what we think is that Icardi is the one that's been, ruling himself out with this knee injury that was, proven wrong by Inter's MRI scans. So adding yet more confusion and controversy to Inter that we don't need. And then at least Spalletti came out in the Sky Sports post-match interviews and attacked the refereeing decision as he should. But that's it for today, guys. Hope you enjoyed this one. I'll see you in the next one for Cagliari. Please comment below, what do you think? Are Inter going to keep in the top 4? Are Milan going to overtake us in 3rd position? Always like and subscribe, much appreciated, guys. And see you on the next one.